It was Aurora's 14th birthday party, her first real one with classmates and fairy lights. We had spent a week picking out a dress, which involved arguments, eye rolls, and one major meltdown over sleeves all. Perfectly normal. We didn't have a Pinterest-perfect setup, but I tried with balloons, glitter banners, and those fake plastic plates that always crack. We even used one of those rose gold tablecloths from TikTok. It was either wrinkled or melted. Okay. The cake was a 3-tier monster from an expensive bakery, and it cost as much as a week's car rental. I did it all for one reason. I just wanted her to feel good, feel beautiful and important, like the main character. We had gone back and forth on the dress. She wanted black, I wanted lavender, and we settled on a white one with delicate straps. It looked perfect on her. She, of course, stood in front of the mirror pulling at her waist, inspecting herself from every angle as if her body were on trial. I told her she looked amazing, but she gave me that teenage side eye, the one that makes every perceived flaw seem huge. In reality, she was radiant, but she didn't believe it not yet. One crisis down. And with 3 hours until the cake, she was pacing like she was up for an Oscar. Hair check, teeth check, nails check, teeth again. She peeked inside the closet and said, "What if he doesn't come?" I knew exactly who she meant, so I shrugged and said, "Then we eat his slice of cake." She laughed, well, snorted, which at 14 counts as laughing. The guests started arriving around 6 p.m., girls in glitter crop tops, boys in hoodies pulled so far over their heads they looked like monks. One of them was Josh. She went silent the second she saw him, straightened up, and tried to look like she wasn't trying to look like anything. He handed her a small box and said, "This is for you." "Thanks," she said. They both blushed and stared at the floor. It was peak teen rom-com. She lit up, truly lit up, and for a second I forgot to worry. I just watched her glow in her dress, thinking how fast she was growing up. One day it's dolls and glitter glue, and the next it's mascara and real feelings. Then the cake came out. Lights off. Applause. I was filming. Aurora looked like a human sparkler. Pure joy. Until my mother opened her mouth. She said it just loud enough with a light voice and a big smile, as if it were a compliment. "All right, make a wish, sweetheart, but maybe skip the cake. You're looking a little wide-dangled lately. No use wishing to slim down if you eat 3 slices." After there was a half-second of silence, I prayed that no one would laugh, that someone, anyone, would say, "Jesus, Mom, that was cruel." But no, her classmate Tara snorted first. Then my dad burst out laughing, shaking his head as if to say, "Classic grandma." One of the kids repeated it under their breath. Even Josh gave a little awkward laugh and looked at his shoes. And Aurora, her cheeks flushed red so fast it looked painful. She shot up from her chair, which screeched against the floor, and she was gone just like that. I was left standing there like an idiot, still holding my phone, still filming. The candles kept burning. No one moved. Then I heard a throat clear. My mom reached for the cake knife. "What?" she said. It was a joke. Tara chimed in. "Oh, come on, she's not actually upset, right?" It was just a line. My dad added, "She's not fat. It's just your genes, Jen." I didn't say a word. Sometimes words are like matches and they're useless. I just stood there and wondered what kind of person says that to their granddaughter in front of her friends and the boy she likes, and then laughs about it. The aftermath. Aurora locked herself in her room. No drama, no slam door, just a quiet click. I stood outside for a moment, listening. Nothing. Then a shuffle and a muffled sniff. "It's me." I knocked. Silence. "Can I come in?" A pause. Yeah. She was curled up on the edge of her bed in that white dress, her shoulders tense, eyes red, and arms wrapped around herself as if trying to shrink into nothing. I sat down next to her without saying anything. Sometimes just being there is the best thing you can say. She wiped her nose and asked quietly, "Am I actually fat?" It hit me like a gut punch. That's the moment when your kid's belief in herself is hanging by a thread, and someone you trusted just handed her the scissors. I looked her in the eye. No, you're not fat. You have a normal, beautiful body, and it doesn't need anyone else's permission to exist. You don't owe them skinny. She dropped her gaze. I added, you're strong, smart, and gorgeous. And Grandma. She's not exactly a certified expert on anything but guilt. She gave a small nod, and her breathing evened out. They all laughed, she whispered. Because laughing is easier than standing up and saying, hey, that's messed up, I said. That doesn't make them right. And it sure as hell doesn't make you wrong. She buried her face in the pillow again. I'm not going back out there, she said. I can't. I won't. You don't have to, I said. This is your party. They're the ones who don't belong. I'll take care of it. She didn't argue. I squeezed her. Shoulder got up and closed the door gently behind me. In the kitchen, my mom was whispering to my dad, probably rehearsing her. It was just a joke routine. Tara was scrolling through her phone as if she hadn't just laughed in a child's face. Her son Kevin was poking at a salad, trying to impress a girl in a fox print crop top. I walked in, no yelling, no drama, just facts. Mom, Dad, Tara, Kevin, thanks for coming. You can go now. They all stared at me like I had just announced I was selling the house on Zillow mid-party. What? My mom scoffed. You can't be serious. Dead. Serious? Oh, come on, she said. I was just joking. People joke like that all the time. You used to. I'm not explaining to grown adults why humiliating a 14-year-old in front of her friends isn't comedy. My dad grumbled. We came here to celebrate, and now you're pulling this. The door's that way? Good night. Tara stood up, all offended. Jen, you're seriously overreacting. I looked at her, calm and cold. You laughed first. She flinched. It was awkward. Then be awkward somewhere else. Take your kid and go? Kevin mumbled something about a phone call and disappeared. The rest trailed after him. At the door, my mom hissed. Hope you sleep well after ruining everything. I sleep fine. I closed the door without slamming it. Just a quiet click. I walked back into the living room. It was museum quiet. The teens looked at me as if I were about to announce a tornado warning. So, I said, I think we can make it through the rest of this party without any jokes about bodies. Or hormones. The cake's still here. Might as well eat it. A few laughs. Someone turned the music back on. Life slowly crept back into the room. One of the girls leaned over and asked, Is Aurora coming back? She'll come out when she's ready, I said. It's her night. Leave her a slice. I stepped outside onto the porch. Cool air. I finally sat down. Inside, I heard laughing again, real laughing this time. Not the nervous, confused kind from earlier. The kind with life in it. She must have come out or at least cracked the door. That was enough. I looked out at the lilac bush and thought, interesting. Every month I pay their mortgage gap. I cover the pills, the emergency expenses, the little things they pretend are temporary but never stop needing. My mom gets all her shop supplies through my company no markup, VIP delivery. Tara sends me lists for Kevin's cleats, Kevin's camp, Kevin's everything, and I send the money. No questions, because it's family, right? And then they came into my house, sat at my table, and laughed in my daughter's face. Even Kevin, that kid I helped buy a laptop for last Christmas, he laughed too. And I just sat there thinking, what's left here that qualifies as family? Shared last name, some dusty old stories I'd rather forget. This wasn't an accident. It was a pattern. I used to be the target. Now it's her. No more. No money, no discounts, no free rides. No dot, because if someone laughs when your kid is hurting, they're not family. It's just dependence with matching. DNA. The new morning I woke up earlier than I wanted to. The house was quiet, but not a cozy, heavy, gray quiet that settles into your bones. Aurora was still asleep. I'd checked on her earlier. Her face was calm. That was enough for now. I made coffee, sat down, and opened my phone. Instant regret, my mom texted. Of course, you did what you wanted, as always. Not surprised. Tara left. A voice message, 1 minute and 47 seconds. I didn't even hit play. I could guess the contents. Drama queen humiliated us. It's poor Kevin. And the grand finale. You've torn the family apart from my dad, who can't even make scrambled eggs without emotional support. You ruined everything again. I just sat there with my coffee, reading it all, realizing they didn't get it. Or worse, they got it and chose not to, which was perfectly on brand when I was 12. My mom smiled in front of a room full of kids and said, "Smile, Jenny. You look like you're at a funeral, not your own birthday." Although, with that dress, fair point, it was always a joke, always with a smirk, always for an audience. The guests laughed. I did too. Then I hid in the bathroom until someone told me it was time for cake. That wasn't a one-off. That was the System. Tara was the favorite. Pretty bubbly. The family's little sunbeam. I was the understudy, the spare. Everything I did was measured against her. Look at how Tara carries herself. She doesn't slouch. Her skin is glowing. Tara has friends. You're just in your books again. Every attempt to be myself was run through a fixer-upper filter. I graduated from the University of Arizona on scholarships and side jobs. With no help and no fanfare. I got into logistics, worked my way up. Now I manage procurement for a company with over 200 stores nationwide. I make good, steady money. All the things my mom used to say were a bit ambitious for someone like me. My ex-husband, Mike, was supposed to be at Aurora's party, but the night before he ended up in the ER with a fever of 104. We split up 3 years ago. No screaming, no court battles. It just fizzled. He was a decent dad and a painfully average husband. I got tired of being his wife, his rock, and the emotional thermostat of the house. We co-parent fine. Ski sees Aurora, takes her to tutoring and movies. It's not perfect, but he wouldn't have laughed last night. But when I left him, my parents said, "We knew you wouldn't keep a man. With your personality, it was only a matter of time." I pay their mortgage, enough to keep the bank from gently suggesting they find a box with wheels. Every month, no reminders, no thank you. I cover meds, utility bills, and my dad's blood pressure pills. I don't ask questions, I just send the money. My mom's little boutique runs on supplies from my company. Officially, she has other vendors. Unofficially, I'm the one who bails her out with rush orders and discount pricing. Tara is always freelancing translation. Sometimes working, mostly complaining. When her water got shut off, I paid it. When Kevin needed a new laptop, I bought it. When summer camp was more expensive than she thought, I covered it. As my mom says, you're the reliable one. We count on you. So they did for years. Not because I wanted to help, but because not helping came with guilt. 'Cause family. And now they're texting me about how I'm a disgrace, how I've destroyed the family, how I've betrayed my mother. Sat there sipping cold coffee, reading all this, thinking, who even are you to me? People who laughed while my daughter shrank into herself. People who treat cruelty as entertainment and kindness as a character flaw. I opened my banking app. I canceled the mortgage autopay. My dad can manage his blood pressure pills with whatever he has left. My mom's shop supplies. It's full price now, net 30 terms, no exceptions. Tara can call social services or get a job. I don't owe anyone anything. Not anymore. And you know what? Turns out no fits me just fine. First came the hints, then the guilt. Trips, then the full-blown manipulation. My mom texted, "You forgot the mortgage payment." I'm sure it's just an oversight. The next day, Jennifer, the bank is calling. Do you even realize what you're doing? My dad kept it simple. Are you kidding me? Tara, naturally, went full drama mode. You screwed everyone. Mom's freaking out. Kevin's camp is falling apart. My laptop's dead, and you're just silent. And my mom's shop. Word got around. Someone I know saw it on her Instagram stories. Orders weren't getting filled, deliveries were late, and her signature packaging disappeared completely. She wasn't getting special treatment anymore because now she was just another client. All that background noise was annoying and predictable until Friday. That's when Aurora came home from school looking wrecked, eyes red, face tight. She dropped her backpack, sank onto the couch, and said nothing. That same cold feeling crawled up my spine. I sat next to her. Aurora, what happened? She was quiet for a long time. Grandma and Aunt Tara came to school. They what? I froze. They told the front office they just wanted to apologize. Said you'd understand if I talked to you. I knew where this was going, but I had to hear it. She wiped her nose. They asked how I was. Then they started in on you. Said you overreacted, that you always do, that you ruined the family, that you're selfish, that you betrayed them, that now they can't afford groceries and it's your fault. My hands curled into fists, but I stayed quiet. They said, her voice cracked, that you're mentally unstable, that I should know that by now, and that all of this, everything that happened, was really my fault. Because if I hadn't run off like some hysterical baby who couldn't take a joke, none of this would have happened. And that it's my job to talk to you, to make you see reason, to help you become a normal, loving daughter and sister again. Looked up at me, already crying. And if I couldn't convince you, they said Grandma and Grandpa would lose their house, starve, and freeze, and that I'd have to live with that guilt forever. She buried her face in her hands and sobbed. I pulled her into me tight, like I could squeeze all the poison words out of her with sheer warmth. That, I whispered, is a lie. A full-on, weaponized, calculated lie. Not exaggeration, not misunderstanding. A lie. She clung to me, still shaking. But what if they really lose the house? I pulled back and looked her in the eyes. They lose the house. It's because two fully functional adults built their lives around the idea that their daughter would always bail them out. Even while they tore her down every chance they got. That's on them. Not you, not me. But what if they die? She choked out. They won't. They're not old. They're not helpless. They get pensions, they have a business. They're just used to living off someone else. And now they're panicking because the buffet is closed. They need to figure out how to live within their means, like grown-ups. And you. You're not there. Lifeline. You're a kid. You're not responsible for saving anyone, and neither am I. She hesitated. But they told me if I couldn't change your mind. I sat up straighter, my voice calm, cold. They couldn't break me, so they came for you. They thought you'd fold. Thought you were easier to push, easier to guilt. I took her hands in mine. You're not to blame for running out that night. You're not to blame for people who call cruelty a joke. And you are definitely not to blame for grown adults who refuse to live without leeching off others. You deserve to feel safe, to be protected, and I'm protecting you the way no one ever protected me. I didn't scream, didn't call, didn't throw my phone. I just sent one message to all three of them. No emojis, no explanation, no rage. Just the truth. You approached my daughter. You targeted a child. You tried to convince her that she'd be responsible for your death. You're no longer part of our life. You don't get contact. You don't get justification. This is done. When the show began, my mom blew up my phone. We just wanted to talk. She misunderstood. What did she even tell you? You can't believe her version. Please, let's talk like family. My dad. Oh, so now you want your mother in the ground after everything we did for you our whole lives. About 6 weeks later, my mom messaged again. We got an official notice from the bank. If we don't make a payment in 30 days, foreclosure starts. Is that really what you want? No, I didn't want that, but I wasn't paying another cent. By month 2, they were unraveling. I didn't hear it from them. I heard it from a lawyer my dad had apparently consulted, asking, can we make our daughter keep paying since she already has? Short answer, no. Voluntary help doesn't become a legal obligation. I pictured him hearing that, and yeah, I smiled. Not out of cruelty, just bitter clarity. Month 3. My mom shut down her shop. She posted some flowery caption on Facebook. All good things must come to an end. Thank you to everyone who supported us. Due to family circumstances, we're closing our doors. Family circumstances is a nice way to say my shop can't run on love and vibes. It needs logistics and a supplier. And I'm not her supplier anymore. I'm a boundary. Kevin didn't go to camp. Tara sent me a letter, a real one with postage, which somehow made it worse. You destroyed everything. He's just a kid. How do you sleep at night knowing you punished a child? Easy. I sleep next to a daughter no one gets to humiliate anymore. Fair? And I don't have to sit through whispers from my mother like she's gaining weight, right? You see it too? I'm not a wallet, not a punching bag, not a safety net. I'm a mother, Aurora. And I spent a weekend at a little cabin by the lake. One evening, she asked me, Mom, do you ever feel guilty? I finished my tea, set the mug on the porch rail. Yeah, but not for what they think. I regret letting them speak to me for so long, like I owed them something. I regret not walking away sooner. I regret that you ever had to see who they really are. She nodded. Then she said, they'll never come near me again, right? Never. And I'm not the one who caused all this. I took her hand, not even a little. Their choices, their consequences. Your life, that's yours, and I'm right here always. She smiled, soft, but this time for real.